Hello, all you viewers out there. Welcome to Beneath the Tangles. I'm Tweak, your host today for a special interview. I'm so excited to have the cast members and staff from the new Funimation film Sing a Bit of Harmony joining me today. So I will jump right in and introduce them and ask you all to say hi as I do that. We have the voice for Thunder, Kamen Casey.
How's it going?
Hi, Kamen. We've got the VA for Toma, Jordan Dash Cruz.
Hello, hello.
All right, and we've got the director of Sing a Bit of Harmony, Caitlin Glass.
Hi guys, thanks for having me.
Thank you, and thank you all for joining us today. I've got you here because this movie hits theaters this weekend, and it's running for a limited time only through the 26th, I believe. So I'm really excited to get to talk about it with you. It's such a lovely film, and you guys and the rest of the cast were so great in it, and I could go on and on and on, but I'd rather you all talk about it. So let's get started. Actually, I want to start with our director, Caitlin, and ask you if you'll just kind of describe the film for those who are viewing and then unfamiliar with it.
Sure. So the movie presents itself as just a simple slice of life, sort of coming of age in high school story about a young girl who's a bit of a loner and a new girl at school that she meets. But the introduction of that new girl will make you wonder, what genre is this movie exactly? Is it a musical? Is it science fiction? The answer is yes. It's all of the above. I think you're really going to love it. The visuals are spectacular. The cast of characters, there's somebody for everybody to relate to, and you'll probably at any given point relate to all of them and see yourself in their particular dilemmas, how they deal with the stuff you deal with when you're a teenager, romantic relationships, friendship relationships, trouble in school, trouble in sports, trouble at home, all those things that maybe sounds like too much for one movie, but I think that it is accomplished very well, actually, in the almost 2 hours that the film goes for. And I love it. I loved it so much. I loved it a lot more than I thought I would when I was assigned to the project. I'm like, okay, cool. My first movie that's going to go in a theater, Funimation's first co-production. So I was very excited, but also like, God, what if I don't like it? I couldn't think of a better movie for me to work on, to be perfectly honest. It's perfect.
Yeah, it does cover a lot of ground, but it does so really, really well. And it crosses all those kind of different genres and a lot of different themes. And, you know, this, it's interesting that you mentioned that this is your first movie. And I kind of wonder, how is the process different? Like, was there any difference in casting or producing a movie as opposed to the anime series like you normally work on?
When you send out audition sides and they know that it is, they being the actors, know that it's a film and you let them know it has theatrical release, there's a lot greater interest. So I was surprised. I wasn't expecting to deal with as many files for submissions as I did. So we get, new shows every 3 months at Funimation. Each director has 2 new shows every 3 months. And so sometimes I think actors maybe get weary. They're like, oh, I can't, I've got so many things. I got too much going on. So they don't submit for this movie. Oh my gosh, I had files up to my eyeballs to listen through. It was really hard, extremely hard to pick. But the recording process is about the same. Something that's really cool though, is that because it's a film, it's an all-encompassing thing. I know the end from the beginning, which isn't always the case with anime series, unless there's a manga that tells you the story. You don't, most of the time, you don't know where you're going. So what was cool about this is we knew where it was headed, and I knew each character's full journey for them, and I could give them all the background information they needed when they got started and help them with all of their motivation. And it was neat. It was a fun process. I would like to do more movies.
Hear that, Funimation? Yeah, more movies for Caitlin.
More movies, great.
But yeah, no, absolutely. I can see how they could be specifically important with this film because for those unaware, again, there's 5 friends plus the new girl, and they all have arcs in the film. They, there's things happening and character growth throughout the film. So it's good to be able to know where it's going. A question for actually the guys here, apart from Caitlin. Caitlin and I chatted a little bit before this interview, and she told me who her favorite character was. And I wonder if you guys could guess who her favorite character in this film is.
It's got to be Thunder. It's got to be Thunder, right? to my
It
guess.
is Thunder.
Sorry, Jordan. I'm sorry.
It's all good. Thunder's a really good character.
It was a good character too. We'll talk
be
about
honest.
Toma, but
I think Thunder was my favorite character too.
So let's talk about Thunder. I wonder, Kamen, if you can kind of describe your character for us.
Oh man, it was so much fun. It was like jumping out of a plane, I'd say. Because a lot of the characters, they're having like more down-to-earth conversations, and then all of a sudden Thunder kicks in the door with his priorities. But also trying to not play it as cartoony, but play it as, it's just urgent to him. This is his priority. This is what's on his plate to do today. And he's just really excited, and it's really urgent.
That's really interesting. I hadn't really thought about that part of his personality. He seems a little disconnected. He's just charging in, and what's going on? What's going on? What's going on? I kind of thought about, when I was thinking about his character, I think it's judo, right? I think judo is what he's really into. I think of him as someone who kind of, even though he's a practitioner of martial arts, he doesn't really have the self-confidence yet. And I thought it was really interesting that you're playing him, came in, because you're a martial artist. You're wearing a shirt right now, but usually when I see you on social media, it's without a shirt on. You're all ripped up. So I'm surprised that you showed up fully clothed. But
I thought about it.
Yeah, I'm sure you did. I'm sure probably anytime you step out of the house, right? Shirt day. We are filming when it's 32 degrees outside, so. I wonder if you felt any kind of commonalities with that character, and if so, or if not, how did you kind of approach playing Thunder?
Definitely, it took me back to middle school. I feel like a lot of people might view me as successful because social media only shows your highlights, but middle school, I wasn't the best, by any means. But I think if there's anything that I love about myself, it would be resilience and just never giving up. And so watching this character who didn't have the confidence, but it's like, you know what? Every loss is closer to one day I'm going to win. And that kind of hit me right in the chest. And I was like, okay, I know what to do with this guy.
Oh gosh,
him.
Chills there. That was
I
nice.
know. I got goosebumps, Kamen. Gosh, looks so good.
So, Thunder does go through a really nice journey. All the characters do, as I mentioned, and that kind of, I kind of want to throw that kind of question out to you all, and anyone who wants to respond, feel free to. I wonder if in your lives, in Jordan, Kamen, or Caitlin, if there was kind of an aha moment for you, or kind of this transformative moment where things clicked or things changed, whether, just kind of in your personal life, or whether it has to do with voice acting.
Yeah, I mean, for me, like I was a little bit awkward in, high school. Wasn't as extroverted, I guess, as I am now. And for me, my faith is a big part of my life. And for a while, because I went to a private Christian school, for high school, I kind of would just, go through the motions of my faith. And it wasn't until about 2015 that it kind of clicked for me. And like, that's kind of when, I felt like, hey, maybe it's time to stop, just drinking the milk, and it's time, for some solid food. So that's kind of when, I don't want to say, my life all just came together, but I do think that that's kind of when I started realizing, hey, I can't just stay, living with, grandma and grandpa for the rest of my life. I need to start focusing on my goals, on what I want to do, on the goals that I've set, which one of them was, hey, let me move to Texas, let me do voiceover, and let me get into Funimation. And that happened, and then some. So for me, I would say maybe around 2015, maybe 2016, like that's kind of when things started clicking a little bit more.
Hold that thought about coming for Funimation, because I want to ask you a little bit about that later.
Thought held. So
all right, it's part of your whole journey, but that's awesome about kind of that decision, and then kind of the maturation that happens, and the kind of movement, right? Kamen, you already brought up like how in middle school you're a lot different than you are now. When did the change happen, and how did that happen for you?
Ooh, working out.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Middle school, high school, I was girl crazy. So it was just about like, how do you get them to talk to you, you know? And it was, you know, trying to work out and build up that self-confidence and shaving my mustache. I had a mustache early on, you know?
Just a stash, or
Yeah, that's it.
Like
Nothing
getting rid
else.
of the facial hair at 11, 12 years old.
That's awesome.
So no, I mean, like, that's funny, but gosh, the girls are a motivating factor. I mean, like, right, like when I met the woman who would become my wife, she basically said, okay, but you need to get a haircut and shave the facial hair, get some contacts, and then we'll talk, you know. So it's like, oh wow, there's results, right? You know, that makes a big difference. All right, so I'll jump back to Jordan real quick and talk about, we talked about Thunder, so I want to talk about Toma. And
Sure.
can you talk about his character a little bit? He's a really important character in this film.
Yeah. I'm not going to say too much because I want to avoid spoilers as much as possible. But Toma is the kind of guy. Sorry if you hear scratching, by the way. That's the cat. You know, it's got to do its thing. But Toma's the kind of character that he's shy. He's introverted. He is very knowledgeable, especially when it comes to like electronics and technology. I think very early on in the film you find that out, so that's not spoiler or anything. And he's the kind of character who he wants to be there for the people that he cares about, but he may not always know what to say or what to do. But he does do one thing well, which is electronics, and you know he's always willing to help. I think that he, or at least my own personal connection with him, I ended up kind of seeing a little bit of myself just because, you know, they are in high school, and I kind of saw old, you know, high school Jordan where he was like a little bit socially awkward. He was, you know, into like things that maybe not everybody's into. You know, I know all of us are actors, but it's like in high school, not everybody's really into acting. Some people are, but you know, some people are just like, oh, they're acting nerds, you know. But yeah, you know, I kind of saw a little bit of myself in him, and you know, it definitely helped to pool, you know, these experiences, you know, to help play the character. But yeah, no, Toma's a lovable being. You know, I think he's a really great character. I think he was very well written, because it comes from a very real place, you know. I'm hoping that a lot of audience members are able to see his character and say, hey, you know, like that kind of reminds me of me, you know. So he's great. He's a great character.
I definitely got some of that. I you know, he's a little awkward. He kind of struggles a little bit with the communication there. And I thought it was really neat when, despite kind of that shyness, that awkwardness, there's a couple of times in the film where he tries to sing, and
Ooh,
you know,
yeah.
unlike Megan, who has this incredible voice. Well, not that you don't have a great voice, Jordan, but as Toma, you didn't sing so well, and I wonder if it's hard to sing that bad.
It definitely presented its challenges. I know Brina and I, like, we were just laughing our butts off whenever it came to just Toma and the singing, because we wanted it to sound, you know, realistic. Like he's just a high school kid, you know. He's not a professional singer. He's not going there. Like, he loves electronics. So he's not, you know, maybe he can hold a tune, but no. But yeah. No, it was, what's up?
I was just going to interject. It was, so Brina Palencia is our music director for the film. And when it came time to deal with this piece of the story, she's like, do you want to be there? Because all the other recording sessions, I just left it up to her. But she's like, I kind of want you here so you can help determine the level of bad that we're going for. And I have to like give props to Jordan, because if he weren't a skilled singer, we couldn't have done what we did as many times as we needed to do it. It was like hey, do it as badly as possible. So he's like, okay. And then we're like, all right, that's too far. But it made us hear things that would work. So like, but we like this one thing that you did, so be sure to do that. And then there were other times where it would skew too far in the other direction, where I'm like, that actually sounds like you're holding a note instead of like scream singing, which is what he's doing. So figuring out what we could do with Jordan's instrument and how to honor the Japanese performance. And there was still animation. There were mouth flaps, there was body language through all of it. So well done, my friend.
Thank you so
Good
much.
on you.
A quick little funny behind the scenes moment for the singing. Initially, I did. I was trying to sing at like, you know, my normal vocal range, and Brina had to tell me, she's like, "Can you go an octave higher?" And I was like,
I remember.
Yeah, I was like, I can try. and lo and behold, you know, that's just how it came about.
Very nice. You know, speaking of the music in the film, you know, I thought Kaylin did a nice job of describing the film. Is it a musical? Yes. Is it science fiction? Yes. Is it coming of age? Yes. It's a lot of different things. But Kaylin, you're a musical person also. You do a lot of singing, and I wonder, have you had to work with a lot of kind of musical numbers in anime before, and how is it, how is it different to kind of have to incorporate these pieces into the film?
Yeah, I have worked on musical anime frequently in various jobs. I guess sometimes I'm the director of a show that has music. Other times I have adapted songs for the same show that I'm directing or for someone else's show. We used to dub opening and closing songs quite often at Funimation. So I might get asked to adapt that for any show in particular. I've done a bunch for One Piece back in the day. But when it came time for Sing a Bit of Harmony, I knew, because of how important the songs were, like all of the emotional moments, all the emotional progress in the film seems to happen because the songs are the catalyst. And I knew that I couldn't be that divided in my brain. I knew enough to understand what the song was going to accomplish, but I don't think I could have done my job as well directing these guys if I wasn't able to pass off the musical element to someone I trusted implicitly, and that is Brina Palencia, who has been like a partner in crime in so many of the musical productions that I've done in anime, either directing me, like being my musical director when I was a singer, and then I've sung like in choirs and stuff with her outside of work. So I knew that she was the one, if we could get her, and she was willing, because it was a new type of challenge for her. And I'm so excited for her to get to hear her work on the big screen as well. So exciting.
Very cool. Kamen, do you sing? You do a lot of different things. I don't think I've seen you singing.
No, I don't trust my voice in public. I'll do some karaoke, but
You have a go-to karaoke song?
Simple Man by Lynyrd Skynyrd. That's my go-to.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right. Pretty nice. All right.
Go ahead. You'd be so fun. Yeah. Take it away.
Yeah. Waiting.
3, 2, 1.
Mama told me when I was young. That's it. I'm done.
That was pretty nice. All right.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
I love it when I interview actors, because you guys are game for anything. Like if you ask me that, I'd be like, no, sorry, bye, click. All right. So I do have a question about that any of you can answer. And, you know, we're talking about the music, and there's a lot of different elements to this movie. Is there something that really kind of sticks out to you in Sing a Bit of Harmony, whether it's kind of one of those components or one of the storylines or a particular theme or a scene? Is there something that you really enjoyed or really stood out to you?
I think for me, it was just the realism, you know. So often we see in anime, like kind of goofy or over the top, just because that's the genre sometimes. But getting a chance to work on a film that was just very realistic, you know, dealing with very real problems that high schoolers now, I would assume, deal with, because I'm not in high school, but at least when I was in high school, I dealt with. So it's really, I guess for me personally, that's just what stood out, you know, getting a chance to see and work on a film where I could just kind of be myself and pull from younger me, and people can relate to that, you know, at least for me.
For me,
That's
I'd say the cast, man. That's a talented freaking cast. Like, I read the comments. Sometimes people are always talking about, oh, English dub. This movie is, man, the love that went for these characters, man. Being able to hop in the booth and see the work that had been done before and jumping into that, you could just hearing the passion and love of the other characters and other actors. It was so much fun. It just gave that extra boost to like, almost like a track meet. If anyone's ever ran track and you had to, or a team sport where they pass you the baton next, you have to grab it and go. And so hearing the prior castmates' passion in the project, just, man, it just gave so much energy of like, yeah, let's do this. Let's go for it.
Oh, that's so sweet. I want to also give kudos to Kamen because I've been waiting to work with him for a long time. Like I don't remember I met you after a play. I think I met you like when cast were hanging out. Like, this guy's cool and I like his voice. And I would periodically like send auditions to him, but he was busy. He moved to LA, went all over the place, came back. I'm like, it's fine. It's gonna happen someday. And then this role came along, and he was so great for it. And I think Charles, like you said, and Kamen, like you said, how Thunder just like kind of busts into the room. Like you brought that energy on the day. Like I could tell you were so excited to be there, and that was perfect for the role. So a true testament to you as an actor. And, you know, we tell a lot of young folks who want to become voice actors, like, what do they need? We're like, you need acting training. And I know that comes from your background, so that when the opportunity presents itself, you're ready to go, you know, like you've got the tools and you're there and you're just like, okay, director, tell me what to do. I'm like, let's make a movie. I'm like, yeah, let's do it. So I had so much fun with you. Maybe that's why I love Thunder so much. It was I had such a great time. But so Charles, what did I like about the movie? What stood out to me? I was really into the AI aspect, and not just the character of Shion, but how it was integrated into the world. So often in anime shows, it's about how AI is bad and how it's going to ruin everything. And then it's like this post-apocalyptic robots ruined everything landscape. And this wasn't that at all. It was a world that looked like now, or the very near future, and how technology was actually helping them in positive ways, like the stuff they studied with on their desks at school, to like those little, we call them trash can coon, the little robot with the face that like picked up the garbage and then also did other things like CCTV and stuff like that. I found all of that fascinating. Like even the house has its own Alexa type stuff. Speaking of,
on cue.
Docking that crap right now.
It's all good.
During this interview.
No, you're fine. So I thought that was really neat. And I don't know, I kind of envision a world like that in a cool way. It was neat. I mean, yes, there were bad aspects, obviously, but once again, the movie is like, it isn't the robots that are bad, it's the people that can really make a mess of things. So I mean, that's not really a spoiler. It might be, but sorry.
No, you know, it's interesting. I didn't compare notes with you all, but these are the bullet points I had, is what you brought up. The cast was incredible. Like, you know, I encourage people, if you can go watch the dub. I haven't watched the original language. I'm sure it's terrific too, but the dub is so good. And I have to, Caitlin's my friend, but I still have to say, whenever she directs a dub, I'm like, wow, like the result is so good. So I think all you voice actors watching this should probably go watch this to see how things can really turn out when you have a wonderful director and wonderful cast. I wrote down that science fiction without being too science fiction-y, like it felt realistic, like kind of like an advanced version of Alexa, right? What's the next evolution of Alexa, helping you cook and things like that. It was, you know, I thought that was really neat. And I wrote realism with people, that some of the themes were like, change can be scary, but we can change, and friendships, family, single mom household, things that people are dealing with, right? So as Jordan mentioned, so yeah, there's just a lot of wonderful things happening in here, and I really encourage everyone out there, go watch the film, go get your tickets. They're available now. You know, you're probably watching this on YouTube, so just hit the links below and you can find tickets for it. It's coming out this weekend. It'll be open, I believe, from the 23rd through 26th. So it's just in select theaters for a short amount of time. Go watch it. For those of you who are like straight up otaku, one thing that I learned later after I'd already reviewed it and everything was this is the same director who did Time of Eve, which is this wonderful science fiction film about robots too. And I kind of thought, man, these kind of share some of the similar themes. That was one of my favorite series that I watched, and I saw it was the same director. So if you've seen that or Patama Inverted, which is another wonderful film as well, I think you'll really like this one. And check out the dub if you're able to with these folks and a whole lot more.
The dub in most places, when I've done my research, the dub is only it's a one night only situation. So if you are interested in seeing the dub here in Dallas, it's on the 25th, and I think that's true in Los Angeles as well. So that may be nationwide. Tuesday the 25th is your day. So get your tickets.
Yeah, go get them now. Go get them now. I'm sure they'll fill up quickly. This is like specialty theater, so sometimes it's only like you don't have a whole lot of seats, so you got to go grab them, right? So please do that. And again, all the links are below. But before I let y'all go, I just want to ask you a couple quick questions for each of you guys, if that's okay. I'll start with Kamen. I've got to ask you about Superhuman. Okay. Hey, Jordan or Caitlin, have you seen this show that came? Okay, all right.
Well, I've seen clips through Kamen's social media.
Okay, so this was a game show, and I too, I just watched a clip, and it wasn't the full clip, right? It was you were blindfolded, and you had to hit these like parts of a dummy, and then you had to knock the head off the dummy and just move from place to place. But they only showed you do like 3 or 4 out of the 6. And first of all, I wonder, did you win?
I won.
All right, very good, very cool. And was it difficult? Because it looked like you're just whipping through those, like.
Yeah, like honestly, they edited a lot of things for time, but I wish they'd have left in a couple mistakes just so people were like, "Oh, I don't believe you really did that." I'm like, no, there was some, there's some errors. I had to figure this thing out throughout the process. But man, I was hungry, and as I was saying, very resilient at the time. Like I just graduated from college, got my BFA, and I'm like, okay, what do I do with this thing now? I'm out in the real world now, and I got contacted through. So actually, I think I can tell the whole story now. I tried out for American Ninja Warrior in like 2015 and bombed, but I met somebody who was working on that show who was just passing out papers at the time. And again, not just because something nice could happen to you, but you do never know who's in the room. Be kind to everyone. You never know who's listening and watching. This person that saw my reel that I sent in, and now she's working on a new show where she's casting for it. And my reel was comprised of a bunch of stunts and fights and different things like that. And she asked me if I would be interested in a new show called Superhuman. So I'm like, yeah, let's do it. Let's go for it. And so they fly me out to LA to try to complete this challenge, which was I had to memorize a bunch of numbers, and they're going to blindfold me. Then I had to strike at them. And I'm swinging at this metal contraption. So if you miss, it hurts. It hurts a lot. But man, they just shoot you out of a cannon, and you're on TV, and you're Mike Tyson sitting over there, Christina Milian sitting over there, Cal Penn is right there, and they're just like, go. And I'm like, you know what? I've been asking for this. I've been begging for this pressure. I've been begging for this shot. I'm not holding back. My big dream is honestly to be an action hero on the big screen. That's it. It's a crazy dream, but I'm not giving up. We only got one life, baby, and I'm gonna use this one on going for this goal. And so I gave them all, and I thankfully, thanks for God, universe, whoever's looking out for me for giving me the opportunity. But I was able to win that. I was super excited about that.
It was really cool seeing Mike Tyson like cheering for you as you were doing it. I mean, that's. Did you get to talk to him at all? I wonder.
Yeah, gosh, Cal Penn, he's giving me all these, he's saying all my credentials and things, but I'm like, Mike Tyson, one of my GOAT, my greatest of all time, is sitting right over there. He can, I'm like, come on, Cal, relax. Like he's gonna whoop my ass. By the end of it, it was cool. He saw this kid who was just giving it his all, and we had a good conversation, and I appreciate his support.
Super cool. Yeah, I'll link that too, so everyone check out that fun video.
Cayman, your dog just made a cameo. Your famous commercial dog. She just went by. There she is.
Oh, there.
my little baby.
Oh,
She's famous. She's
Aw.
Little boy.
Oh, he's a boy? Why did I think she was a girl? Oh, because he looks like my first dog. So which was a girl. So I'm sorry. I'm sorry, you beautiful thing.
we should redo the whole interview with the dog in the shot, so we'll get a lot more things that way. I'll go to Jordan next. I want to ask you how Kelsey's doing.
Oh, she's great. She's in the other room right now. I think she took the cat, just because that cat, ooh, buddy, it likes to scratch, and it likes to scratch pretty much everywhere. So we've had to train it not to. But no, she's doing pretty good. You know, she's still doing the acting as well. And her and I will be getting 2 new cats this weekend. So we have adopted, and they are coming in. I think we settled on the names Sokka and Momo from Avatar. So
Very
yeah.
nice.
So
Very nice.
she's great though.
Yeah, I just
doing
wanted to ask
fantastic.
about her. We'll move on to the next question. No, I'll ask you about you too, Jordan. Yeah, so earlier you talked about picking up and moving to Texas, and I just thought that was kind of when you told me about that originally, I thought that was a really brave kind of thing to do. I wonder if you could kind of just tell that story today.
Yeah, for sure. So I'll keep the long story, short, but essentially I didn't really know what anime was, and then I had a friend who really liked it, who kind of showed it to me, and I was listening to some of the English dubs, and I said, hey, this is cool. Like, I think this is something that I could do, because I had done acting in high school. So I was just like, yeah, I love acting. Like, maybe this is something I could look, how to get into. So, with the power of online, I met some people who, funnily enough, are professionals now in the industry. And at the time, we were just, kids having fun and doing little indie projects and chatting with each other on Skype for 6 hours, But I thought about it, and the decision for me was either LA or Texas. I was like, what do I want to do? Like, LA has, the stuff that I want to do. Texas has the stuff that I want to do. So I wasn't 100% sure. Like I said, faith is a very, important thing for me, and I believe, when God opens a door, that's a door that you walk through. I also believe he can shut doors. And for me, I thought about it, and I was at a church retreat, and the person, I guess the pastor who was speaking at the church retreat, I was talking to him, and I was like, yeah, I'm thinking about maybe moving to Texas or LA. I love acting, and this is something I want to do. And he goes, oh, hey, I'm actually the children's pastor at the village church in Flower Mound. And I was like, Flower Mound? I was like, there's a company I want to work for in Flower Mound. So I kind of took that as God telling me, like, hey, Texas is going to be the place. So we started looking for apartments. Go figure. The apartment that I found originally, that I moved into, the guy who originally lived there was living there for 20 years, and he had just moved out the month before. And I was like, yo, and I ended up getting the apartment. The first job I got was at Stanley Steamer, and I had worked at Stanley Steamer prior in Florida. So I was pretty much just a shoo-in to get that job. So there was just a lot of just opening door. Okay, let me walk through it. Let me see what else is going to happen. Open door. Let me walk through it. Let me see what's going to happen. And eventually I made my way to, Funimation, and even beyond, like just other studios and stuff as well. And I'm enjoying the ride. I really, I'm very grateful and very thankful for all the opportunities that have been handed to me, or that I've, auditioned for and gotten. So yeah, that's pretty much my story. Like, it's just a lot of, hey, let me just walk through this door, and I'll trust you, God, that, if this is a door you want me to walk through, hey, you'll make it happen.
And now you're in a movie. That's
yeah, I know, right? That's crazy.
Super cool. Thanks for sharing, Jordan. So
Absolutely.
encouraging. And then Caitlin, Most importantly, what I want to ask you is, can you tell us your K-drama recommendations? I mean, tell us some of your favorites.
Okay, how much time
that's
do
what
you
people really
have?
want to know. Forget the anime. We want to know
Yeah,
about
it's all about
K-dramas.
K-dramas, you guys.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I can. So right now I'm watching one. It's sorry. I just love that you asked me this question. I'm watching one on Netflix called Our Beloved Summer, which I think would be a great K-drama introduction to anybody who kind of wants to maybe scratch that itch and it isn't Squid Game. Nothing wrong with Squid Game, but that's like totally different. That's like action oriented and like death and extreme circumstances, and also short form. So this one will be 16 episodes. And the actor who played the son in the movie Parasite, which is a big deal, he's the lead in this one. And he's excellent. It's about two kids when they were seniors in high school, like complete opposites of one another, and a local television station did like a documentary about what if we put these two opposite kids with each other, what would happen. And the show is about them like 10 years later and everything that happened in their life and in between. I really, really enjoy it. Every season of K-dramas, I'm like, what's going to be the one that I'm obsessed with right now? And this one's it. So watch Our Beloved Summer on Netflix. Nobody paid me to tell you that.
Beloved Summer. Okay, got it. I'm Korean, but I go to Caitlin for recommendations. She knows the world so well. That's what she really loves.
If you like BTS, V from BTS sings a really popular song in the soundtrack of this show. So there, it's beautiful. The song's called Christmas Tree. It's great. You'll love it.
Do you see she likes voice actors, they're okay, but K-drama, like she loves them, right? So.
I need an escape, Charles.
Very good. Well, thanks for sharing. And hey, I want to close this out, but I'll kind of let Caitlin give kind of a final pitch for everyone out there to go watch the film. Why don't you take it away?
Well, why don't I take it away? No pressure. Okay. Well, thank you guys for watching this interview. Thanks for being fans. And I promise that if you go and see this movie, you will not regret it. Every single actor shines in their performance. Every character is so fun and real. The music, fantastic, like Disney level fabulous music. You're gonna adore it, and you're probably gonna want to see it again. And if you I don't know how you can, because there's only one showing in English, but I put this out there in our behind the scenes that Funimation put out. Like, I want to hear people singing the songs in English. Like, send me your clips, send me your reels and your TikToks and your YouTube cover versions of the music. We would love that. It would mean so much to us to know that it resonated with you. So please go Sing a Bit of Harmony. I can't wait to hear what you think about it.
See, that's why I had you throw it out there. So yeah, definitely go watch it, everyone. I'll include everyone's social media links here. So send the stuff to Caitlin and follow everyone else. And I want to thank you all for joining me today. Thanks, Caitlin. Thanks, Kamen.
Sure.
Thanks, Jordan. Appreciate your time. And to everyone out there, go watch it. And thank you for joining us. Please subscribe to our channel. Please follow everyone. And take care, everyone. God bless. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.